Hello everybody and welcome back to Toons Reviews. Today we're going to discuss Tom of Finland by Etat Libre d'Orange. So keep it tuned. In 2007, Antoine Lee created a really delicious S&M sort of oriented leather fragrance that came out of the house of Etat Libre d'Orange, which is a fragrance house that really does like to push the envelope. They have created some really wonderful fragrances, and they've created some really balls to the wall, risky sort of artistic scents, such as Secretions Magnifique, which is something that I really just wouldn't wear, ever, but I can appreciate the artistry. Tom of Finland is actually a fragrance that I tried very early on in my fragrance journey. I had just been introduced to niche scents, and it is something that kind of went around the community. Back in the early days when the community was much smaller, a lot of reviewers would kind of send each other care packages, and we'd all share samples, and the big one at the time that was just fun to share was Secretions Magnifique. But I know that I was given this sample. I'd received the sample from one of my other fellow reviewers, and they couldn't stand it. His name was Ed, and he went by the name of Frankenator, so check him out. I don't think he does reviews anymore, but he's still on YouTube, so you can see some of his old videos. This fragrance is something that a lot of people did not like back then, but I personally always have loved it. To me, this smells like a sort of rubbery, leathery sort of concoction that's being smoldered or smoked. And there's some really wonderful aldehydes and some lemon. There's some pepper, some cedar, and it just smells buttery and sexy. And there's a rubbery sort of like tire smell and a really good dose of leather in there. This is not for the faint of heart, though. I will say that. This is a creative little number revolving around the leather accord. And this particular bottle is actually a gift from my friend Rush Durr, who he and I have become very good friends. I go up to Toronto to visit him quite often, and this was a Christmas gift from him from last year, and he said that this fragrance suited me. I think that he's absolutely correct. This is one of my favorite fragrances from the house, and I do quite enjoy wearing this from time to time and seeing people's reactions to it. I think it's a very sexy fragrance that is going to be something that is going to be incredibly bold for whoever's wearing it. So if you are shy, I don't think that this is going to be something that necessarily gets along with you. But if you're someone that likes to take chances, I think that this is something that you could totally use. Now, as far as coming up with an occasion to wear this fragrance, really it's kind of like nights out. I think that if you're confident in wearing a fragrance like this, then you can kind of get away with it anywhere, anytime, any place. However, I would kind of steer away from places like school or your job, your occupation, if you're working in a very enclosed area, because that would probably be somewhat inappropriate. But if you're going out and you're dressed in a nice suit or something, this is a sexy fragrance to pair with something like that. Or semi-formal with like slacks or chinos with a leather jacket. Certainly something you could get away with. I think it's perfectly unisex. I think it's a very sexy little number, and I think it's a wonderful fragrance you should all get your noses on. So check out Tom of Finland by Etat Libre d'Orange, and I will talk to you all very soon. Thanks everyone. Bye.